Hello, Strategist here, and we are going to delve a little more, and I cannot stress little more, into Dzievanna's quest. Over 18 hours of my life have now sunk into trying to recreate this damn module because things kept deleting it or overwriting it or verifying the game cache. And at the end of the day, while it looks complicated, there's not much more that I haven't covered for this quest. I'm actually kind of slightly annoyed that I didn't notice this, that I didn't realize it sooner. To recap, one, I'm going to link it up above where I quickly, in like a few minutes, discuss the key points of this module. I'm just going to go into a few extra details here, but at the end of the day, they don't really change too much. All the business stuff that you're caring about is already listed in a different video. It checks Divine 6, Divine 9, but really it's checking 7 and 13. Make sure you have both of them. Basically, are you supposed to be here? Are you supposed to be at this point in the Divine Quest? That's really the only prerequisite that it checks for. Are you in the Ancient Forest? 50% of the time, also it keeps having a good chance of triggering, and you cannot have tag Divine 40. This one's important. I think this is a bug. Tag Divine 40 only shows up once in the entire catalog of things. And it shows up twice in this because I copied the module for this video. But it just shows up once, and the one time it shows up only happens when you run away. So when this event triggers, there is a possibility that you didn't have your chosen one with you yet. If that happens, you only have two options: attack and run away. Most people would assume attacking the followers of your deity is the wrong choice. But in fact, you want to beat them. You want to beat them so bad, because if you decide to run away like the brave Sir Robin, you have lost the entire quest. You do not pass go. You do not collect $200. This is the only time in the entire divine thing that this shows up, this Divine 40 thing, and that's after you've run away. If you choose to fight them, some bad things kind of happen. One, your chosen one's going to take a bunch of damage, win or lose. If you lose, one of your characters randomly just dies, guaranteed death. And if you win, you get 5 to 10 grand gems. That's it. It says, know that you will not receive my final blessing. However, it doesn't do anything to make sure you don't receive the final blessing. Which means, as long as you're willing to, if you have enough armor or somehow willing to absorb this damage, you can just keep beating them to farm the grand gems. There's nothing against doing that. If, however, your chosen one is there, you will have chosen choices. I suggest choosing them. You will see 3 choices. 2 of them are always available, and 1 only shows up if you have beasts, and 1 only shows up if your chosen is a druid. If you choose the beast or the druid one, you have an extra stop of gaining 1 luck on your way to winning. No matter what you do, if you win, you end up here where it says congratulations, you won, blah, 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 blah. If any of these 4 things are triggered and you lose, I remove the lines. They all just led down here. You're going to take a bunch of damage, but nothing bad happens in terms of completing the quest. You might die from damage, but ignoring that, you all end up in the same point. From here, there are 2 things that break off. One that says, so you follow my path thus far. One that says, I see you have struggled to follow my path with clarity. Also of note, the one that is on the correct path says, why did she lose her memory? The one that is on the incorrect path said, why did he lose his memory? There is a mistype. For as complicated as the rest of this looks right now, this is actually only 2 linear paths. They have joined together a bunch of events where you can keep going back and forth to get information. But at the end of the day, if you ever see an option that says, say that you seek no answers, that is always listed twice, and you can only see one or the other. If you pass the earlier test, then you will be able to, you'll be stuck on the correct path. If you fail the earlier test, you'll be unable to see the correct path, so you're always going to get the other path. Because if you end up on the correct path up here, which I discussed the prerequisites in the other video, if you end up on the correct path up here, you get tag Divine 14, which is needed to choose any option leading to this area over here. That's it. That's literally it. So if you didn't end up in this square, all of the rest of these, you'll never be able to choose the right choice. You'll always be shunted down once you do, in fact, finally say that you seek no answers. And that's really kind of it. I addressed most of this. There is one thing of note that I can't actually hammer out. If you bother to go down all the questions and you end up getting to the part of the conversation that says, it has always been primal law that we cannot directly act in the mortal realms. If you get to that point, it gives you tag Divine 46. And there's a variant in this for all the deities. They all have some variant of, there's an option somewhere that ends up giving you tag Divine 46. I have looked through every module thing trying to track down where Divine 46 is. And unless like my Control F search functions have lied to me, the only time Divine 46 pops up is under here where it gives it to you. So I don't know what that tag does. I don't know if that tag is just a layover from an earlier code that got copied over and it doesn't do anything now, or if it's there in preparation for something they're going to be putting in. I don't know. But do note that if you don't go through all the details where you end up with, there's always been primal law that we cannot directly act, you don't get that divine tag. It just doesn't appear to do anything right now. You can only end up in that area if you've gone through the part that says, no, a part of each lived on and was reforged as a god you know as Triglaive. So there are 3 gods, basically what you need to do. So they are gone for good. So there are 3 gods, and it will lead to this. But Triglaive didn't appear to care about that divine tag. No. You end up on the top one, of course. As I discussed previously, you end up with the divine tag Div 29, which gives you the Dzievanna kids, amongst other benefits. And if you don't, you end up with a choice of choosing one of the domain tags, Harmony or Nature, and the benefits to your children that you get from that. As someone asked underneath the other one, though, that's it. There is no other prerequisite. So your only one big thing is this check right here, which I addressed in the other video. And as of right now, it's still bugged a little bit, where you just need people with a high enough int. You need some druids, and I think you need some beasts. That's about it. Or some elves, I'm sorry, not beasts. Because at the end of the day, this one checks for, is mystics true? Mystics is checking for whether or not your mysticism or your intelligence, I'm gonna go back and check that, is high enough. Magical is what I think they wanted, and that would have checked spirits. But since we're not checking spirits, that doesn't matter, because we're not checking magical. So magical doesn't apply, neither does spirits. So really it just comes down to Gobzi, Shamani, and all that good jazz, which is way back at the beginning. I went into detail in the other video. But no, that's literally it. That's the only prerequisite. If you end up down here, fight them. Fight them every time if you end up with those 2 options. Do not retreat, as that will mean that you don't get any of the divine tags. Fight them, come back with your chosen one, win or lose this event. As long as your chosen one, I guess, isn't dead, the event should still be going. Continue on. If you've met that prerequisite, you get Dzievannas. If you haven't met that prerequisite, you don't. But here's the thing. You don't get to choose to downgrade. If you end up here, because it never gave you a choice, you've gotten Divine 14. For all these other things, you never get to see the option where you get a domain tag. So that is a very key thing to be aware of. If you followed her correctly, you're guaranteed Dzievanna's tag. Not you're guaranteed the option to get Dzievanna's tag. You're guaranteed Dzievanna's tag. So if you're wanting the Harmony or the Nature tag, don't succeed at her quest. Like, get to this point, but don't have all of the prerequisites, which I can just quickly go over. We'll just backtrack this. We'll do it live. All this is checking is greenskins and mystics. That's it. Mystics was 3 or more mist. Greenskins is Gobzi or Shamani is true. Shamani is 2 or more shams. Remember, the names might be off, so I'm going to go all the way back. And then Gobzi is just 1 or more gods. So go all the way back to where it assigned these goofy names, which is around here somewhere. And we see that Mist is just 12 or higher intelligence. So you needed 3 or more 12 or higher intelligence. Gobs is just 1 or more elf. And Sham is 2 or more force demons. The beast thing never gets checked, so you don't need beasts, which is kind of a bummer. Because, well, I said kind of a bummer, kind of a weird thing. You would think that choosing the beast, because that was a good choice earlier, that was one of your options, choosing a beast as your chosen one would get you double fold. You'd have someone who's also a beast. But really, you don't need to do that. You might as well just have your chosen one be an elf shaman. Get the shaman choice earlier and qualify as the one whole elf you need. That's it. 1 elf, 2 forest demons, 3 12 or higher int. If you want Dzievanna's tag, meet those prerequisites. If you want harmony or nature, just fail on one of those 3 things. And you will fail, and you'll be able to choose one of the other 2 tags. That's really it. Anything and everything else you do, as long as you're able to get to this part where it says go to the forest biome, you're fine. As a matter of fact, due to the fact that the shamans, the forest demons, it's an easy way to check or to confirm, just get rid of the forest demons. Just get rid of them. You're like, oh, I don't need you. About to complete this quest. Find some way to remove them. And you'll be able to make sure that you no longer meet the prerequisite. I don't think anyone's going to be getting rid of a elf, and I don't think people want to be getting rid of their characters higher end. That's really it. I thought there was more to it because of all the nodes I glossed over for the other video. And like I said, I accidentally deleted it one time. So I backed it up. Then the game updated, so it flushed the entire folder, which that's where my backup was, so I lost that. So I kept spending hours sorting out these events, and there really wasn't anything. If the other events for the other deities are the same way, I may not have 2 different videos. I may just have the shortcut thing, and then that's it. Because there really was no more information in this. There's just a whole lot of nodes so that you can get the story. But mechanically, they don't do anything. They're all white. And the ones that are green, if you have the green one, you no longer get to go down. So in the future, only look for the one divine video. I have wasted too much time to get this video out for what ultimately isn't that much information other than, dear Lord, don't run away. That's really what it comes down to. Don't run away. I'm legit internally screaming right now because 3 times I've sorted out these and there wasn't extra information. I could have been cranking out. Could have been doing other Thea vids. But I kept wasting all my time trying to resort this one out to get information. Life is funny sometimes. If you found my previous video on the topic educational, or if you found my suffering entertaining, give a thumbs up for the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.